Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you from Prague, from the 2023 World Health Congress. My name is Oldřich Pernický and I will be the host for today's session, for today's presentations. Let me welcome you on behalf of ITCEM, Institute for Traditional Complementary and Integrative Medicine, and its director, Mr. Tomáš Pfeiffer. It's a great pleasure to welcome you in our online hall number 3. Let me just remind you that you can also follow us on YouTube and on the webpage of the Congress in another two halls, Hall 1, which is with live speakers, and Hall 2, which is combined virtual and live speakers. And now let me welcome here Dr. Bishnu Prasad Sarma, who is joining us from India, and the title of his presentation is Osteoarthritis and its Management through Ayurvedic Drugs and a Novel Approach to this. Dr. Bishnu Prasad Sarma, please, you can start your presentation.
Okay, good morning. Namaskar, respected chairperson, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Professor Dr. Bishnu Prasad Sharma from Guwahati, Assam. Today I will speak on osteoarthritis and its management through Ayurvedic drugs, a novel approach. So according to Ayurveda, but pitta cough, when it remains normal, then we maintain our health. Any diseases occur, that means there should be imbalance in the bath pitta cough. Osteoarthritis is called Sandhigata Vata. Sandhi Vata in Ayurveda. It means a condition in which morbid Vata is located in the joints and destroy the joints. According to Ayurveda, osteoarthritis occurs due to aggravation of Vata dosha at the joint and called as Sandhi Vata. Osteoarthritis, which is also known as osteoarthrosis or degenerative joint disease, is a progressive disorder of the joint caused by gradual loss of cartilage and resulting in the development of bony spur and cyst at the margin of the joint. The name osteoarthritis comes from three Greek words meaning bone, joints, and inflammation. According to World Health Organization, osteoarthritis is the second commonest musculoskeletal problem in the world, 30% after back pain, 50%. In India, it is as high as 12% of India has the second largest osteoarthritis patient base around the world. So evident this large carnivorous dinosaurs have this osteoarthritis problem. Bats and sloths are the only known vertebrae that do not develop osteoarthritis. The reason these mammals are immune to the condition is simply the amount of time they spend just hanging out upside down. So these are the diagnostic criteria. I will not take more time. So holistic approach. There are plethora of treatment options available in Ayurveda. Treatment goals for the patient with osteoarthritis of the knee include reduction of pain, improvement in joint mobility, improved quality of life, and limited functional impairment, avoiding drug toxicity. A clinical study was done at Government Ayurvedic College and Hospital, Department of Kaya-Chikitsa Ayurvedic Medicine on 60% of osteoarthritis. Aim and object to study the efficacy of ashwagandha krita basti, an oral polyharbomineral compound in the management of osteoarthritis. To observe and evaluate the effect of ashwagandha ghritomatra and oral polyharbomineral compound, and to establish treatment modality for osteoarthritis in modern era. So these are the investigations we did before and after. Treatment procedure. The ashwagandha ghritomatra 50 to 60 ml was administered in the form of matravasti after proper Snehan and Swedana for 10 days, along with the Bosti, an oral polyharbomineral compound was given in the dose 1 tablet twice daily for 3 months. Follow-up studies, every patient registered for the study underwent 3 follow-up, each 1 month interval. The results were assessed with improvement in pain, restricted movement of the knee joint, crepitus, swelling, morning stiffness, and radiological findings. This is a compound drug. It contains gugulu, godontifasma, rasna, arjuna, ashwagandha, bola, kukudanta, phasma. We give in the tablet form. This is one composition, gugulu, this godontifasma, rasna, terminalia arjuna, ashwagandha, root is used, bola, then kukudanta phasma, then ashwagandha ghita. It contains mursita ghita, ashwagandha kalka, ashwagandha quat, godukta. This ghee, pure cow ghee, and herbs used along with ghee, haritaki, bibhitaki, amlaki, nagarmotha, haridra, and nimbu saras. Nimbu saras, haritaki, amlaki, bibhitaki, mustak, and haridra used along. This is the ghee was prepared as Ayurvedic pharmacy at our college. After preparation, we kept in a jar, glass bottle. Inclusion criteria. Patients with complaints of knee joint were included for proper diagnosis. The age group between 30 to 70 years, pains without any previous anatomical deformity. Exclusion criteria, patient below 30 years and above the 70 years, patient suffering from disease like carcinoma, psoriatic arthritis, HIV, tuberculosis, SLE, syphilis, cardiac disorder, pregnant lady. So after treatment, 13%, 27.7% could walk 25-meter distance in 30 seconds. 20% patient could walk 30 to 40 seconds before treatment, which was steadily increased to 24-40%. In between 40 plus to 50 seconds, the number of patients was 27, which was decreased to 14%. And between 50 to 60 seconds, the initial case was 20%, which was decreased to 9%. And lastly, patient unable to walk only 1. In initial case, which was decreased to 0. Pain is also subsided from 2.1 to 1.08. Restricted movement is also comes down. Taking into consideration of the cardinal signs and symptoms, pain, morning stiffness, swelling, restricted movement, and crepitus, the clinical assessment of the result established as markedly improvement 26%, 43.33, moderately improvement 33%, no improvement 1%. This is the procedure. This is how we give matravasti. Before treatment, we did X-ray. After treatment also, little bit gap is increased by giving treatment. You see, before treatment, patient unable to sit in the floor, but after giving treatment, patient easily sit in the floor, walking distance increases, patient can climb the staircase. You see how he sit in the floor before treatment. You see how improvement was there. He can sit easily in the floor.
Good morning. I am Devu Prasad Mishra. I teach English in Budani College, Panchala. Actually, I was suffering from knee joint pain. In both the knees, I faced acute pain. For long 3 months, I was suffering. But I came to Government Ayurvedic College in the first week of July, and I met Dr. B.B. Sharma, HOD Medicine and Government Ayurvedic College, and he suggested me to undergo conservative therapy in this government hospital. And since 12 July, 12 July, I have been undergoing treatment in this under conservative unit. And now, after 7 days treatment, I feel almost 50% relief from pain. I feel comfort, and I sincerely hope that this sort of treatment will be efficacious or fruitful in his joint pain, and I hope this is the right result. Okay.
My name is Kaveri Chaudhary, 63 years of age, a retired teacher by profession. I have been having this knee pain and a bit of lower back pain. So I had come to Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma, under whose treatment I am, and he advised me a therapy called Vasti therapy, and I have finished 8 days of that. And during that therapy, I have got a lot of comfort from what I was suffering. For instance, I had difficulty in climbing downstairs. Now, I am much comfortable climbing downstairs, and I do not have to take one stair but 2 steps at a time. Then my back pain, as you can say, 95% cured, and for me 95% is 100%. And I have been advised now more medicines, the same medicines actually, carry on for another month or 2. I will carry on with those, and I'm sure, and I'm positive in fact, that I will be cured. Oh, okay. The haunches which I could not sit properly, this is about 80% I can say. Okay?
So this is the improvement. Again, you see, before treatment, patient unable to sit, but after treatment, patient can sit in the floor easily. Lots of cases are there. Patients are happy after getting their treatment. So the drug therapy is effective in controlling pain, restricted movement, swelling, morning stiffness, and crepitus of the affected osteoarthritis knee joint. Statistically positive and effective response of the trial drug was also found. 33%, 55 were markedly improved, 26%, 43.33 were markedly improved, and 1% was not improved. The walking speed of the patient was increased. The pharmacodynamic properties of the trial drug satisfied the Chikitsa Sustra of Chandigata Bata osteoarthritis. The Bosti with its specific action, and also the trial drug with its Bija Guna and Rosayana property could regress the disease progress. We can thus the clinical symptoms was reduced and they could perform their daily activity. patients could sit well on the ground, although they were not allowed. We can conclude that ashwagandha ghitavasti and the oral polyharbomineral compound is effective to reduce the clinical symptoms of the disease. Moreover, it also increases the walking speed and mobility of the patient. Thus, with a hope that the present study will pave a path for scientists and researchers working in the field of this disease. Thank you. It is a very good and effective treatment. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me thank Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sarma for his very interesting presentation on Ayurveda, how it can help in the cases of osteoarthritis. We don't have time for questions now because we've got another presenter, Mr. Martin Rickinger, but Dr. Prasad Sarma, if you stay connected with us, maybe there will be space for some questions later. So we'll be happy to join you later if you have time, of course. And now let me hand over to Dr. Martin Rickinger, who is joining us from Netherlands, and his presentation is called Maharishi Ayurveda, Ancient Ayurveda for Bright Future for the World. And we got Martin Rickinger connected to our Zoom conference, but let me first play his presentation, and then if there are any questions, we can try to answer them. Is it okay like that, Mr. Rickinger?
Yes, sure, yes, of course.
So now the presentation from Netherlands.
Good morning. It's a great joy to address the Third World Health Congress on the topic Maharishi Ayurveda, Well-being for Individual and Society. Ayurveda is the Vedic approach for well-being in life, ancient and modern at the same time. For every person to enjoy life in good health and in its full potential, and for the world to enjoy freedom from disease, from problems. Ayurveda is much older than the usually mentioned 5,000 years. Ayurveda exists since creation exists. Let us shortly summarize Ayurveda's place in the world. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi started to make Ayurveda popular outside of India starting 1979. Now, only 45 years later, Ayurveda has spread all over the globe. India's government is fully supporting and propagating Ayurveda, yoga and meditation nationally and globally. Ayurveda is part of treaties between India's government and over 60 other national governments, and with alliances of nations comprising over 85 countries. WHO has recognized Ayurveda, has established benchmarks and standard terminologies. Ayurveda is recognized in over 30 countries. Ayurvedic products are available in over 120 countries. Ayurvedic market size was valued in 2022 at 4.8 billion euro and is expected to more than double by 2028. This quote from an article in India Today describes Maharishi's contribution. Ayurveda was almost unknown in the West when Maharishi introduced it in the 1980s. Today, Ayurveda has spread globally as a futuristic mind-body consciousness system of health and well-being, such as Maharishi revealed it to be. This would have not been possible without Maharishi's global promotion. International and national congresses on Ayurveda have become a platform for experts to meet. WHO's only Center for Traditional Medicine will be established in India. So Ayurveda has reached a stage of international collaboration on governmental level to have Ayurveda, yoga and meditation as a complete system of well-being and health. Over 20% of the population have already accepted them as side effect-free approach to well-being and good health. Maharishi Ayurveda is offering with Ayurvedic pulse diagnosis Nadi Vigyan, a most reliable technology of diagnosis that allows a doctor within a few moments to know balance and imbalances, that is, health and diseases in his patient. Maharishi Ayurveda offers a variety of modalities to maintain physiological balance, that is, health, including panchakarma, Vedic sound therapy, gem light therapy, aromatherapy, marma therapy, yoga, transcendental meditation, Gandharva music therapy, Ayurvedic food supplements, Vedic dance therapy, etc. As well as training in Ayurveda on university level and training programs in its different modalities. The only master's degree in Ayurveda at a fully accredited university in Europe is offered at present at Alma Mater University, Slovenia, together with parts 1 and 2 of postgraduate training in Ayurveda, curriculum and faculty of Maharishi Ayurveda. Let us now discover together how these different modalities are very much in line with Charaka and classical Ayurveda. The Charaka Samhita, written many centuries back, is one of the principal books on which today's Ayurveda is standing, together with Sushruta Samhita and Vagpat Samhita. In his chapter Sutra Sthanam, Charaka states 3 main causes for diseases: mistake of the intellect, mistake of the senses, mistake in rhythms, routines and timings, daily and seasonal. He also identified 3 principal forms of therapies in Ayurveda: Sattvavachaya Chikitsa, Deva Vyaprashaya, Yukti Vyaprashaya. They do correspond well with Maharishi's basic threefold structure at the basis of creation, the Samhita of Rishi, Devata and Chandas, togetherness of knower, the process of knowing and known. Let's start with Sattvavachaya Chikitsa. Charaka defines it as mental, consciousness-based therapies which lead the mind away from unwholesome level to wholesome levels. It is known that we only use 5 to 10% of our mental potential. Life has most important goal to develop one's full mental potential, to develop higher states of consciousness, cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, unity consciousness, Brahman consciousness, where mind, heart, intellect and ego are fully developed. A person that only uses a small percentage of his sensory, mental, intellectual and ego potential, we will all agree, cannot really be called a healthy person. The Sattvavachaya Chikitsa therapies include the techniques to develop a person's full potential, higher states of consciousness, enlightened. Having achieved that level in life, this is a healthy person. Everyone, whatever he does and aims to achieve in life, he really has one goal behind all: realize and live totality, realize Brahman consciousness, and have a problem-free life with development of siddhis like flying through the air, manifesting anything by mere thinking, and all the siddhis described by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. This is a healthy person, the level of consciousness, established in the self, established in being. Today's education does not raise the consciousness of children and students. It gives information and almost keeps them in ignorance about their self, who they really are, instead of leading them to enlightenment. As a consequence, the young generation revolts against many things. The only solution for that is to put them onto the way of full development, that is meditation, siddhis. Once it will be taught in schools and colleges, the young generation will be very happy. The Sattvavachaya Chikitsa techniques of Charaka are in Maharishi Ayurveda. These techniques everyone can learn. Yoga asanas, pranayama, transcendental meditation and advanced techniques, the term siddhis, including yogic flying. With these techniques, everyone can develop his full potential, be a fully healthy person on the level of consciousness. Meditation is part of Ayurveda and is recommended by all great Ayurvedic rishis. Dhanvantari, thousands of years ago, summed it up as, everyone should meditate. Charaka writes also about siddhis. The yogi acquires 8 classes of siddhis. Siddhis can be achieved only by those who practice yoga and associate their pure mind with Atma, transcendental consciousness. We see Maharshi has revived Ayurveda in a form that is 100% in tune with Tanvantari, Charaka, Shushruta, Vakpat, and all the great rishis of Ayurveda. We can make use of it for our own life now and for the well-being of society, as we'll see afterwards. Now to the Ayurvedic treatments, therapies called Pacharaka, Deva, Vyaprashaya. Modern physics would probably call them technologies based on quantum force fields. Force fields are the forces of nature, laws of nature. In Sanskrit, they are called devatas, daiva. These treatment modalities bring balance to the functioning of natural law in our physiology, to the autonomous functioning in our physiology. Imbalances on that level, not being in tune with natural law here and there, also leads to diseases. To re-establish balance on that level, the use of Deva modalities of treatment is recommended. In Maharishi Ayurveda, these are, for instance, Vedic sound therapy, Vedic model of physiology, marma therapy, light therapy with gems, Vedic astrology and its remedies, Vedic performances called yagyas, Vedic architecture, arsoma therapy, Gandharva Veda music therapy, Vedic dance, etc. Now to the third category of Ayurvedic treatment modalities described by Charaka, Yukti Vyaprashaya. Modern physics would probably call them technologies based on quantum matter fields. Translated, it means based on a plan. It relates to the chandas, material level of the body and living, and the plan to restore balance. Maharishi Ayurveda includes the necessary approaches. Ayurvedic diet according to one's constitution, daily and seasonal routines, Ayurvedic products, detox, panchakarma, Vedic agriculture, etc. All the Maharishi Ayurveda modalities are in a revived and pure form, in tune with the teachings of Tanvantari, Charaka, Shushruta, Vakpat, Harit, Madhav, Shangadhar, Kashyapa, etc. Now from the health of a person to the health of a society of the world. Here the same three treatment modalities can apply. Let's go back to Charaka's first treatment modality, improve consciousness, create enlightened citizens, raise the consciousness of everyone to enlightenment and thereby raise collective consciousness. With collective consciousness rising, all societal problems and global problems will start to fade away. Practically applied, it means have the children and students practice daily as a group in their school, college and university, yoga asanas, transcendental meditation, TM cities and yogic flying. That will raise collective consciousness of a nation, of the world to a level where problems start to fade away and people will start thinking they live in heaven. For a complex system to demonstrate as a whole macroscopic quantum phenomena of order, coherence, not every member needs to be in that orderly macroscopic quantum state. Enough and approximately the square root of 1% are in that deep orderly state to produce a coherence level that affects the entire system. For the whole of Europe, a coherence group of 2,000 people would be sufficient. One such group to practice yoga, TM cities of yogic flying together 2 times a day will create coherence for Europe. Negative trends will decrease, be reversed, and lastly, only positive trends will characterize society and life. Charaka's second treatment modality of Deva, applied to create a healthy, problem-free nation and world, would include establishing larger groups of Vedic Pandits for daily Vedic Yagya performances. Please listen a few seconds to our 2,000 Pandits chanting at the geographical center of India. Having this opportunity for peace, it almost sounds like an illusion, that still some countries make war and offer their precious young generation to die for nothing on the battlefields. Time for wars is over. These Vedic pundits, together with large groups of yogic flyers, are the present and future for every nation, for the world. Now shortly Chaturaka's third treatment modalities, according to plan, applied for the health of a nation of the whole world. Government should plan to establish a group of coherence, should plan to have a group of pundits performing yagyas, should plan for their population to have pure air to breathe, clean water to drink, abolish poisons and GMOs from food, emphasize Vedic organic agriculture, educate the population in the basic concepts of Ayurveda so that everyone can read his pulse and see that his doshas stay in balance, that the people know what to eat, what not to eat, know how to behave in accord with nature. If taught in education and through the modern channels of communication, they will naturally become a part of life and problems will stay away. Also important is that universities will have an Ayurvedic faculty to continuously train Ayurvedic experts. This is what ancient Ayurveda and Vedic knowledge will bring for the future. Heavenly, problem-free, disease-free life on earth, heaven on earth. Thank you all, and let's join together to make it real now.
Thanks to Martin Rickinger and his lecture, which we can consider as a continuation of yesterday's lecture on Maharishi's Ayurveda from Mr. Lothar Birk from Germany. And actually, we can make a little bit of shift in our schedule because now there was supposed to be Professor Srinivas Gujawar from India with his lecture, but since he can't connect us, we can, and there are some questions that arrived from our listeners and viewers from YouTube. Let me ask first Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sarma, are you still with us? I can see you. If you can hear us.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm there.
Thank you very much for staying with us. And there arrived some questions. So may I read them for you?
Yes.
They are not in chat in Zoom. I've got them here from YouTube, from our listeners. So, can a layman use Ayurveda for osteoarthritis, or is it too complicated and we need a specialist for that?
Yes, Ayurvedic specialist is required. For such type of treatment, I showed for osteoarthritis, we have a very good treatment, but he or she has to take the treatment from the expert doctor only.
So as usual, it is always better for such a specialized disease to consult a specialist, of course. What about availability of some of the agents or some of the formulas, some of the healing or medicaments, Ayurvedic that you mentioned? Are they available in Europe, or how can we from Europe get to them?
But right now, whether it is available or not, I don't know. But at India, I can provide all this. Or at India, medicines are available, or in hospital. Our hospital, it is available. But in other Ayurvedic hospital also, such type of facilities are there. But in Europe, right now, I cannot tell you in which hospital or in which center it is available. It is available. If somebody, I can give the training because Ayurvedic people are there. If they can invite me, I can show how such type of therapy can offer to the patient. Because last year also I showed one case regarding transverse myelitis. It is very difficult, but with the help of Ayurvedic treatment, I presented through your seminar last year. So if anybody can help me or invite me to give training, I can give the training. And medicine is available. They can bring the medicine from India.
That's great. So the best way is to get in contact with you and your hospital, and from there they can start.
Yes, yes.
Who are
You can.
interested.
My email is also there. Yes, you can circulate my email, my phone number. Okay.
And you are also listed in the program with the contacts on you. So thank you for that. May I have
Okay.
another question? Have you got a little time for another question, or?
Yes. I'm there. No problem.
I think you already described it a little you described it in your presentation, but here's a question. Can Ayurveda cure even an advanced stage of osteoarthritis? I think that you showed some of the examples of an advanced osteoarthritis, but there's a question, so if we can enlarge on that a little bit.
Yes, we can. But patient has to come in the early stage. If complete ankylosing is there, if knee joint is complete ankylosing, then we cannot show any good result because it will take time to progress the disease. It will not in a one day. It takes time. If the early stage patient comes to Ayurvedic physician, Ayurvedic doctor, if take treatment from Ayurvedic doctors, generally improvement is there and patient will feel well-being and no need to change the knee joint because according to modern ultimate treatment is knee replacement, but after replacement also problem is not subsided. So if the patient comes in the early stage, if he takes the Ayurvedic treatment, but he can enjoy his life without changing whatever God has given us this knee joint.
Thank you very much for your kind answers to the questions from our listeners. And since in your highly specialized field of osteoarthritis there are no more questions, thank you for your kindness and for the time that you
Okay, thank you, sir. Next time also, if you invite me, I can personally visit your country also. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that offer.
Yes, I know you, Stina. Stina is there, no? Director Stina. Do you know her?
Stina, it's the name or surname or lady or a man or
A lady.
Stina.
Stina.
Stina. I'm wondering who it can be from the organizing committee or
Maybe. Exactly, I don't know. Sometimes
Yeah.
I talk with
I will
her
mention
over
it.
phone.
I will mention you to the board, and somebody definitely will raise his hand that he or she is in contact with you. If you want to stay connected, you are welcome to stay connected. And now let's make use of the time that we have, since Mr. Gujawar is still not connected to our morning round of presentations. Mr. Rickinger, if you can hear us.
Yes.
If you want to, you can enlarge on any of the previous questions, but these were specialized for osteoarthritis and Ayurveda. There's a question that I received from our listeners. Let me read it. Maharishi Ayurveda and cancer, or is it better or preferable for psychosomatic diseases?
Yeah, I mean,
you were talking about in more general frame, but
well, I mean, we have seen that Ayurveda is good for the individual person. It's good for the whole society to create a disease-free society. It's not just for prevention or for psychosomatic medicine. As I said, there are three, according to Charaka, three different treatment modalities that one has to choose depending on what the person has. So if the person is lacking in consciousness, then you give, which everybody is because nobody is enlightened, you give him meditation, you give him techniques to grow, to develop. Then secondly, if he violates laws of nature in his life, if he goes against this and this, then you need to put this to order. If he has physical problems on the material level, you need treatment on the material level. So cancer, as much as I was told, is mainly that people lose the direction in life. And normally, every cell has a very specific task, a very specific direction to take. But if a person kind of shoots in all directions, goes in all directions wildly, do this here, do this, do there, this, loses also his direction in life. Also, some parts of his body will lose the direction they are supposed to do and start firing in all directions. And this is what a cancer cell is. So one needs to see the person, you need a holistic treatment. One needs to mainly see what is the wrong. And then, yes, I know there are people also in India, I know there are some doctors specialized in treating cancer. Of course, it's not that easy because it probably has evolved over many years, over many decades of wronggoing, of going in the wrong direction. This will take time, and yes, but of course, in principle, as much as one knows from Ayurveda, as long as the person has the time to see a doctor, he should be able to be cured. Let's put it like this.
Thank you very much for that answer. May I read another question that arrived?
Yes, sure, of course.
Maharishi Ayurveda. You were speaking in general and about, let me read it. Do you have specialized Maharishi Ayurveda, or are there specialized Maharishi Ayurveda products that are different from common Ayurveda products? Is there something that Maharishi Ayurveda makes different specialized products for? Or is it more like philosophical approach?
No, it's not, like I said, it's not at all philosophical. It's creating disease-free society. It is not just a philosophy. See, products, yes, if you go on the internet and you look for Maharishi Ayurveda products, you have a huge range of Maharishi Ayurveda products. But Maharishi always put emphasis that they're all based on classical formulas. So they have their name, they have their numbers, but these are all known classical products, with the difference that they're standardized, that they're completely pure ingredients. So in the West, they're always worried that if I take an Ayurvedic product and it has some lead poisoning or so, some Maharishi Ayurveda products are most pure products in Ayurveda you can get. But don't think that Maharishi Ayurveda is only a philosophical thing. No, I mean, life, everybody has a body that needs to be healthy, has a mind that has to be healthy. He has to live in accord with national law, with natural law. On all these levels, the person should be healthy. So this is not a philosophy. This is life as a whole. You need to see life as a whole. You should be healthy. Mind, body, in tune with nature, with the cycles of nature, with the rhythms, with the laws of nature. This is health, not just see the body and, oh, here I take a product and then I'm healthy. No, you need to see the totality of life. So improve your consciousness, develop your consciousness, get enlightened, learn how to get the support of the natural laws of nature. You think something and immediately it gets realized because you have the support of natural law. Your body will be healthy. On all levels, health is necessary. The same for a society. So one needs to see it holistically and not just see health on the level of body and to take some products and I continue my life as I want and do wrong things. Holistically developed Ayurveda. Ayu means life. Perfect, enlightened life, fully developed on all levels. This is what Ayurveda brings. Not just take a medicine and also, but all right.
Thank you very much for making this clear and clarifying this to our viewers.
Yes, you're welcome.
And we used almost all the vacant time that was available, so let me thank you both for staying with us. If you want to stay connected, of course, you are very welcome to stay with us. And let me now introduce Dr. Kartikeyan Natarajan, who is joining us from India. And let me again present his lecture or presentation, which is called Functional Independence in Autism Targeted Through DOAST Integrated Therapy. And we will have Dr. Natarajan to answer some respective questions after the presentation.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Millions of families around the globe who have children with autism hope for a behavioral improvement and cognitive improvement so that the children will become functionally independent when they become adults. This is the target with which the DOST Integrated Therapy Center in India has been functioning for the past 2 decades. We have been replicating results, positive results. I've come here to share that experience with you as to how we did it. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. We consider that the brain as a hardware which is inflamed and not able to take the software of learning. The chronic inflammation is the common denominator, causing connectivity and processing abnormalities in the functional areas of the brain. When the connectivity is a problem, learning is a problem, output is a problem. We differed from the hardwired concept which was prevailing that time, way back in 2003-2004. We believed that the autism could be rewired, and we believed in the capacity or the capability of the Indian medical systems to give us tools to achieve our target. We consider the neuroglial inflammation, which is an outcome of primarily the gastrointestinal inflammation producing cytokines, vasculitis and oxidative stress, resulting in symptomatology of autism. Cumulatively, we hypothesize that the upstream molecular systems were disturbed by inflammation in the downstream systems, predominantly the gastrointestinal system, producing cytokines, and cytokines on a chronic basis affecting the blood-brain barrier. The neuroglial inflammation affecting information transfer between the functional areas of the brain. When there is no information transfer, you could imagine many of the symptoms of the children with autism. So our target was restoring synaptic connectivity. We hypothesized the therapeutic concept of reducing the cellular stress, eliminating the toxin, by which achieving rejuvenation and regeneration. Basically, this is the concept of the traditional Indian system of medicine. I've been mentioning the word integrated therapy, the meaning of which is we have chosen the best of the medicines and then tools and techniques from the traditional medical science. And the chosen techniques are checked for safety and cost effectiveness through the tools of the modern medical understanding. Teach the parent about the technique. Most of the application of the treatment techniques in a center is parent included, so that they gain in confidence and their psychological problems are minimized day by day when they see the children improve. We catch the children very early. We try to catch them as early as 3 years and then start the early biological intervention technique. I have to mention here our early intervention is biological and it goes to correct the system from inside out. Or the diet practiced is sattvic diet of yoga along with herbal supplements, and we do yoga in the full form starting from the early age, and we supplement it with oleation therapies and then lifestyle changes. I invite you to have a look at the videos which follow, which will explain our technique and the outcomes.
வரைக்கும் நார்மலாக வளர்ந்தான். அதுக்கப்புறம் இவனுக்கு பேச்சு சரியாக வரல, ஹைப்பர் ஆக்டிவாகவும் இருந்தான். பல டாக்டர்கள்லாம் போய் கேட்டதில் கடைசி அவனுக்கு ஆட்டிசம்னு சொல்லி டயக்னைஸ் பண்ணாங்க.
What is your name?
Name. Name.
Mine
is Sinai.
Our second child, and when we found out he is autistic, we were really heartbroken. He has been attending dosed for about 2 months, and within these 60 days he is coming up really well, and I can see that he can follow small instruction, and he is coming up with few words now, and he is really calm now. He is not as before. And
the yoga hall is colorful. Volume the yoga hall.
Mountain. Lie down, namaskar, lie down. Lie down. Raise the jibba, astang, namaskar. Fold your right leg. Fold your right ankle joint. Ankle, take it back. Take it back. Tarun, take it back. Fold your left leg. Take it back. Sitting Vajrasana. This is Vajrasana. Tie your hands back. Monish, close your mouth. Breathe in. Monish, Nilesh, close your mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend down. Forehead down. Right knee down. Place your right foot. Hands back, Monish. Hands back, Monish. Back. Come on, look up. Bend down. Come up. Nilesh. Come up. Bend down. Come up.
Sit your hands, bend forward, maintain,
relax, close your eyes,
Aisha, shake.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Left foot, left ankle, left shin, left knee, left thigh, left hip, stomach.
Put your right leg left.
Your right leg left.
Put your right leg left. Up there.
Your right leg back.
Put your right leg back.
Your right leg front.
Put your right leg front. 11. Raise your hands up and join your path. Nera pathina adha onnal nikka mudiyachon. Maintain. Right leg up, right leg up. Knee straight. Okay, very good. Maintain. 1, 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then left leg. Knee straight பண்ணிக்கோங்க. காலை நீட்டி வை. Knee straight. 15.
In the absence of a biological marker, exhibition of improved cognition and behavior goes to prove that amelioration of inflammation is happening in the neuroglial systems and better information transfer between the functional areas of the brain and coherence are developing, which would ultimately end up in making that individual functionally semi-independent at least by the age of 18.
இசை கேட்டால் புவி அசைந்தாடும் அது இறைவன் அருளாகும். இசை கேட்டால் புவி அசைந்தாடும் அது இறைவன் அருளாகும். ஏழாம் கடலும் வாரும் நிலவும் என்னுடன் விளையாடும். இசை என்னிடம் உருவாகும். இசை என்னிடம் உருவாகும். ஏழாம் கடலும் வாரும் நிலவும் என்னுடன் விளையாடும். இசை என்னிடம் உருவாகும். இசை என்னிடம் உருவாகும். இசை கேட்டால் புவி
Tarun.
Thank you for your presentation, and if we can ask you to answer the question, and because we thank you to join us also online, and we've got a little time for a question. So, I will read the question now. Can a mother reduce the risk of autism during pregnancy?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Can a mother reduce the risk of possible autism during a pregnancy? Or what are the risk factors that mothers should avoid?
Oh, the risk factors. Yeah, I can tell you the first risk factor is the smartphone. Do not use your smartphone during pregnancy. And you keep your mind at peace. Stress is one thing which can cause a lot of damage. And we have had a lot of experiences with mothers sharing that they had a lot of stress during the time of pregnancy, and that resulted in autism. And we now tell the parents the practices of Ayurveda and yoga, chanting of Om and chanting of Vedic literatures, all this have a positive influence on the health of the fetus. And this has been proven over the years. And there are a lot of, examples in the literature. And that could be used by the modern lady who is pregnant, who is exposed to a lot of stress. So this is our general advice. And then again, the food, the smoking, the alcohol, all these have influence on the developing fetus. We do not know exactly what is the reason for development of autism, but these things help. And especially if you have the first child autism, second child, you need to be very, very careful. And after birth or during birth, you aim at a normal, natural delivery. That is one thing which can assure that the child gets the favorable antibodies to withstand. So if there are studies to prove that cesarean section, the risk of autism is more. And again, after pregnancy, you feed the child. The breast milk is very important. And then breastfeeding a child at least for 18 months is insurance against these kind of problems.
Dr. Natarajan, thank you very much for joining us and answering the question. And now let's turn to Mr. Debashish Sahu, who is with us, also from India. And I cut his time a little bit short, so I will make it up at the end of the presentation, of course, because after that we've got coffee break. So, of course, I will give you time to speak a little bit longer. So thank you, Dr. Natarajan. And now let me ask Mr. Debashish Sahu to give us his presentation, Research Approach and Commercial Potential of Herbal-Based Therapy Using Modern Technology. Please, Mr. Sahu, you can speak now.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Some of the most important part is that today herbal drug system is going to be the next generation drug system, I think. So for that, we need many advancement in the research area, some approaches from our side, from the different research communities who are into the herbal drug system, who are developing rapidly the drug system into a modern type of systems. And we can increase the commercial potential using the modern technologies that we are, and some of the concepts and prospects of ours from our side and we can enhance the safety, reliability, and authenticity of that herbal drug system. Along with the most important part is the conservation of the natural resources that we have, that relies on which the herbal drug system totally relies. So my first presentation, the first slide will describe you regarding some introduction. So herbal-based drug systems are used to treat, cure, enhance healthiness of the mankind. Okay, so it is by the ethnobotanical prospect and application. So these drug systems have used in many ancient cultures. Okay, so many drug systems that are ancient cultures are Ayurvedic, Chinese. So some Japanese cultures, in some Japanese cultures, there are also medicine systems. Some Korean medicine systems are also there, which uses the natural resources, the plant materials, and their drug abilities in their medical system or healthcare system. So naturally, these natural products have some chemical compounds that can use to treat some diseases, and these chemical compounds can be enhanced in a much more technical and much more applied technologies where we can find out and we can discover the new drugs. So with the advancement of the drug discovery process, different toxicological studies, drug-drug interactions, many theoretical knowledges and therapeutic principles are there. And we can explore those principles, the modern pharmacological and mode of actions by use of different advanced techniques, along with systemic and ethnobotanical traditional medicine, can make this system more understandable in a more precise manner. So my main objective is to find out, conceptualize, and scientific approach leading to modern and high throughput drug discovery process associated with herbal drug system, overcoming challenges that renders better acceptability in modern world and globalization of local and ethnopharmacological knowledges. So first we have to understand what is a herbal drug. So the plant material, they constitute the chemical compounds. Those are called the bioactive compounds. Those bioactive compounds are having different effects when we take a herbal drug or herbal component. So it has a different effect. A single drug can target different types of other means diseases. So on an whole, it is called as multi-drug, multi-target concept. So it is a type of combinational therapy that is found to be very, very effective and very, very efficient. Okay. So this network pharmacological data and big data can help us to find out the possibility where we can correlate the synergy and other mechanism for developing the prospect of the natural products. So different approaches, some of the approaches that I want to describe in this system. One is sustainable agriculture practice of herbal raw material. As we know, in the APIs or chemical compounds, we can synthesize in a chemical means combinational chemistry. But for a herbal raw material, we have to rely on the plant material. So those plant materials that contains different types of phytoconstituents, such as alkaloids, phenolic, saponin, tannin, amino acids, carbohydrate, terpenoids, and flavonoids. So this chemical compound can function alone. Aluchas, in the conjugation with the phytochemicals, they produce different pharmacological effects. So as a whole, these types of this drug system that relies on the herbal drug material has to be practiced on a sustainable agriculture practice where we get an authenticate raw material and a good quality raw material so that the drug system will be having a more efficient and more effective way. The second one is called good handling practice, good manufacturing practice, and good distribution practice. With the help of good agricultural practice also, there are also different types of other practices that need to be addressed in a very scientific manner whenever we are handling those different types of herbal materials. Good handling practices, as well as wherever the manufacturing is going on, good manufacturing practices should be there, as well as good distribution practices should be there. So all these things, post-harvest conditions and handling, such as drying, processing, transportation, storage, extraction, has a major impact, and it will deteriorate the quality quantity and efficiency of the batches, and is also it also helps in the variation of the batches. So what happens if there will be variation in the batches, then the herbal drug system we cannot rely 100% on that particular. So another thing is that contaminations. Different types of contaminations with the means the raw material, such as the heavy metals, the pesticide, insecticide. They have also a deteriorated effect on the drug system, because these heavy metals and these have as well as the type of pesticide and insecticide, they have different types of toxicity, such as hepatotoxicity, cardiotoxicity, neurotoxicity, and hematotoxicity, as well as for a good handling practices and good agricultural practice, we have to analyze each and every raw material. At least we can do the quality control by estimating by different by estimations with different analytical techniques such as SPLC, AAS, and mass spectroscopy. So process attributes and quality control. So extraction of active compounds plays a major role. So different types of extraction methodologies are there. So you have to optimize the methodologies, whether we'll go for cold extraction, whether we'll go for hot extraction, whether we'll go for decoction or maceration. So it depends basically, most importantly, on the pharmacological effect, which extraction process has the maximum pharmacological intended maximum pharmacological effect. Secondly, there are also proper research and observation should be there based upon the stability of the raw material, stability of the intermediates, and stability of the finished products, as well as the whole time study, process attributes such as milling, sieving, blending, granulation, compression, block density. These also plays an important role in maintaining the integrity of the drug system. So with the increase in the shelf life, better theoretical ability, better research on in vitro and in vivo stabilization, better absorption, better bioavailability, stability of raw material, reduce negative interaction and limited toxicity. Then pharmacogenomic approach. Pharmacogenomic approach, right now what happens is that whenever you take a drug, a doctor prescribes a single drug to many patients. So that drug can have an effect with the 10 tablets, can have effect on 100 tablets. So it depends upon the genomic integration of the different individuals. So right now, if we integrate this pharmacogenomic approach where the different genetic makeup of the organism or the individuals can be integrated with the drug system or integrated into the pharmacological study, we can make the drug system more effective. We can analyze the qualitative and quantitative the discrimination in between the individuals having the different genomic based upon the different races, based upon the different countries. So this development in the genetic, proteomic, and metamolecular tool will fulfill the study of therapeutic interaction, bioavailability of the drug compounds. So integration of this public health with the study of the individual genomic, genetic, and physiological aspect can render numerous study profile for better therapy. However, efficiency of the drug metabolism depend on the presence of drug metabolizing enzymes. Okay, so our near future will be on the futuristic medicine or the more personalized diagnostic with the help of different diagnostic system and help of different, I think with the help of different AI and other tools, we can integrate this pharmacogenomic more efficiently into the therapeutic potential of the drug system. So role of information technology, computational biology, and data mining. As of you all know, that bioinformatics and computational biology are playing a pivotal role in the development of drugs. So, right, like that also, if we have information technology, if we have integrated database for Ayurvedic system, for Ayurvedic practice and Ayurvedic outcomes. For example, there should be a database for herbal medication. There should be databases for the outcome of the different types of diseases. There should be type of medications and their outcome and their correlation with the qualitative and quantitative integrations. So these different types of things that in the information technology. So these types of databases to the chemical fingerprinting as well as the phytochemical composition can be correlated with the different efficiency of the drug compound. So these databases can also give an insight to this quantitative user and quantitative composition activity relations. So virtual screening approach can also be used for plant-based drug system by using available online libraries for bio and plant metabolites. Another system is that reverse pharmacological approach for drug discovery process. As of you know, in the Ayurvedic system, it is already been established. Many Ayurvedic practitioners are there. Those who are practicing the Ayurvedic system from the generation to generation. So they know a much amount. We have by much amount of data regarding the pharmacological, regarding the therapeutical value of this drug system. So once we gather this information from those things and integrate into the machine learning system, so we can get into new drug system, new development of the drug system, where we can reduce the amount of time. We can reduce the amount of time for development of the new drug. So this is called reverse pharmacological approach. So you can see whenever there is a development of a new drug, first we have to identify a disease, then we identify a protein, then we go for development of different types of target lead identification. Then we can go for lead optimization. In lead identification, there will be about 1 lakh compounds. In lead optimization, there will be about 1,000 compounds. Then we'll go for preclinical trials upon animal trial, upon human trial. Then at last, there will be a drug system. But in a reverse one, what happens? So whatever safety studies are there, whatever the pharmacological studies are there, whatever the toxicological studies are there, they have been already been seen by the efficient and more prominent Ayurvedic practitioner, more prominent doctors, those who are into the field from generation to generations. So from their data, from their experimental studies, from their drug, from their doses and doses concentration, whatever they are scheduling to the patients, along with that, whatever they see of the lifestyle of the persons, the therapeutic and toxicological parameter. So this can get integrated into different modern drug designing system to get into an efficient, safety, and stable drug composition. So artificial and machine learning in herbal drug system development and authentication process is a very important part. So the process of drug discovery and drug development is a very complex technology and is multi-component strategy. So these synergetic combinations can only be possible by network-based system. As I have told earlier that we should develop a database system. We should develop some type of integration networking system where we can integrate all those data into a single piece, into a single world. So that whenever one practitioner wants to get some data about the patient, about the regime, about the different level of drug, what the combinations of the drug, and quantity of the drug. So they can easily find out, okay, this is the regime that has given to a patient. So we can try out a new system, or we can try out a new regime. We can experiment a new regime on different types of regime. So like that, we'll get the experience and we'll get all the things, how to accumulate on different types of different elements, such as liver diseases, cancers, diabetes, etc. So study of entropy, herbal biomolecule disease network system that will depict the synergistic effect of combinational drug compound. Machine learning technique can also be used to build up QSAR and QCAR. Web-based and mobile application can be used for the recognition of the medicinal plant. For example, I am an individual. I have gone to a park, or I have gone to a herbal park. So I need to see what is the type of plant, what is the use of the plant. So it's simple by clicking on a mobile, and if I have a technology, if I have a database, simple by the click of a system, I can find out, just like a Google Lens. Just I can find out what is the plant, what is the utility of the plant, how the plant is useful in different elements. Okay. So automatically this will help in recognition of the different plots. Along with it will help the local population, different taxonomists and biologists to provide proper identification and authentication of the plant species and plant material, along with increased knowledge of plant material. So this all will be helpful whenever we have a proper data systems. This will also help in the conservation of local flora. Okay. So integration of DNA fingerprinting, DNA barcoding can also integrated with the artificial intelligence to make more authentication more reliable. Then biotechnological prospect. So DNA barcoding is the identification of the plant material for the drug isolation and compounding. So DNA barcoding method is a short sequence of DNA from a single cell of an organism that differentiates the species from other in the same kingdom. This has served to be the better and standard method for species identification that matches the DNA barcode sequence from the unidentified organism and match the DNA barcode sequence with comprehensive libraries of plant barcode of live data. So then DNA-based molecular markers. These are also molecular markers that help in identification, that helps in finding out what is the differences between the two plant species, how they have evolved through the evolution. Chemical fingerprinting is also can be also integrated into biological fingerprinting, where chemical fingerprinting means we have a single type of molecules that is present on a single plant. So the quantity and quality of the particular type of chemical in that chemical molecule in that plant especially can authenticate us that this is the plant and this can be the parent plant or a native plant. Then DNA microarray technology can also be used to find out the genetic information encoded in the plant. Then what are the challenges and conservation technology? So due to increasing demand in herbal-based system, there's a thing that those herbal materials can be means there will be mix-ups. Okay, so in order to lower down these mix-ups or lower down these contaminations, so you have to there is a challenge and there is conservation technology also. And due to increasing demand in the herbal-based drug system and substrate for development of other drugs, there is a heavy pressure on some selected medicinal plant due to they have a slower growth rate and they have a slower reproduction rate. Some other factors are agroclimatic specificity, lower population densities, overexploitation of the natural resources, and substantial loss in the habitat. So there is also irradical and continuous erosion of medicinal plant in the wild due to population explosion, as most of the population depends on the natural and forest product for their living. So traditional conservation strategies commonly, so this is the main strategy where traditional conservation strategy, community-based conservation and utility policies, regulation on transport and export policies, plant tissue culture, in situ and ex situ conservation, a botanical garden, seed bank, germplasm conservation can be effective to save and propagate the wild and endangered medical resources. And also other improvements are commercial improvements and IPR. So commercial improvements in tissue culture technique can also be possible by automation and robotization. Tissue culture in the liquid medium and use of bioreactor for the propagation of different or scaling up of their plant material can also be used for metabolite production. So opportunities and challenges can be globalization, can be patents or intellectual property right and biopiracy issues need to be approached, need to be a modernized approach in the line of development of information, machine learning, database system, on-site and off-site information, system screening and measurement. So this is what my concept on conservation and some of the concepts for improvisation of the herbal system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Debasish Sahu, for this new approach to drug manufacturing and all the big drug market and the possibilities which are ahead. And if I'm not mistaken, we will be joining you one more time at 11:45 with your presentation on COVID or the medicaments, alternative medicaments on during drug during COVID pandemic. So thank you now for the presentation. We cut you short by 5 minutes, but we gave you extra 10 minutes, so I think it makes it. And we'll be looking forward to you in the later session. In the meantime, let me announce a coffee break for everybody. And after that, we will be joining with the continuation of our morning program here in Prague 2023 World Health Congress. So now relax and enjoy your coffee break, and I'll be looking forward to see you after the coffee break. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you back at our World Health Congress Congress 2023 Prague, and we can continue with our afternoon session. Let me just remind you that you can follow our other two halls, which are streaming their live presentations and lectures, and hall number 2 with their virtual and live presentations. Now let me welcome Ms. Mridula, okay, who is joining us from India. Yeah, we can see you. If you can unmute your microphone and start with your presentation, which is called Medical Plants in Ayurvedic Medicine for Cardio Protection, a Promising Research Area. The floor is yours. Madam Mridula, please start your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Namaste. Myself, Dr. Mridula, a research scholar from Department of Dravya Guna Vijnana, Ayurveda specialty for pharmacology. Currently, I am doing my PhD studies at Government Ayurveda College, Tripunitura, India, under the guideship of Dr. P.Y. Ansari and Dr. Sara Monsi Uman. And in today's Congress, I am going to present the topic Medicinal Plants in Ayurvedic Medicine for Cardioprotection, a Promising Research Area. Let me start the presentation with current scenario of cardiovascular diseases. As per the World Health Organization statistics, cardiovascular diseases causes million deaths per year, accounting for 31% of all death worldwide. And the prediction, and there is a prediction that CVDs kill more than 22.2 million people annually by 2030. And surprisingly or unluckily, we can see low and middle income countries have a higher prevalence of CVDs among older adults. And this will create a significant challenge for the healthcare system in future. How to overcome this challenge? We all know the management or prevention of CVDs requires adequate lifestyle management, risk factor management, and proper adherence of prophylactic drug therapies or drugs that are used for treating the cardiovascular diseases. But the reports from surveys in Europe and United States shows inadequate lifestyle, risk factor management, and underuse of prophylactic drug therapies in patients diagnosed with CVDs or in the CVD prevention strategies. So adherence to medication, it plays a major role in the prevention and management of CVDs. And from this survey pointed out a poor adherence to prophylactic drug therapies. All these pointed out the need for a new approach for CVD prevention, both in primary and secondary level. So the role of cardioprotective drugs in the prevention of CVD is a well-known factor. So how can we utilize the cardioprotective drugs for the prevention of cardiovascular diseases? Recently, Wald and Lowe proposed a theoretical cardioprotective pill, and the current evidence on the use of this poly pills showed an improvement in CVD risk factor levels and adherence to preventive medications. So the same thing we can see when we look back into behind the centuries. Most of our traditional medical systems are using multi-ingredient formulations for the management of diseases, including cardiovascular diseases. So considering all these factors, it is the time to utilize multi-ingredient formulations of traditional forms of medicine in preventive cardiology, following the concept of polypill. Now let us see how can we utilize Ayurveda polyherbal formulations or single drugs in CVD prevention. Under the heading of Hridroga, Ayurveda describes a variety of single drugs and formulations for treating cardiovascular diseases. Based on their effects on CVD risk factors and symptoms, these formulations are comparable to polypills, and we can utilize them as an add-on therapy or standalone treatment depending on the patient's condition or the stage of the disease, etc. We all know A cost-effective healthcare system and personalized medicine will be the future of preventive cardiology. So a personalized approach followed by Ayurvedic principles will definitely help to develop an integrated approach in the prevention of cardiovascular diseases. So all these are the background related to the use of Ayurveda in prevention of cardiovascular disease. Now let us see some cardioprotective drugs and some scientific evidences on the use of them in cardiovascular disease prevention or management. So first one is Arjuna. This is the Sanskrit name given for the plant Terminalia arjuna of Combretaceae family. And in Ayurveda, physicians used to prescribe medicated milk and stem bark powder of Terminalia arjuna as a cardioprotective agent. And these are some experimental evidence for the use of Arjuna for the cardioprotection. Beneficial effects in experimentally induced myocardial ischemia, hypertrophy, fibrosis, and other cardiovascular diseases. Boosts antioxidant activities, prevents fibrosis, protects against ischemia reperfusion injury, antihypertensive effects, and the atherogenic activity. These are some experimental evidence on the use of bark extract of Arjuna. And the next one is Arjuna Ksheerapaga. Arjuna Ksheerapaga is a formulation. It is prepared by boiling Arjuna bark in milk and water in a specified ratio. And this is described in Chakradatta, a classical textbook of Ayurveda. And it is widely prescribed by Ayurvedic practitioners as a cardiotonic. We all know the reason for diseases including CVDs include sustained or excessive chronic inflammation fueled by oxidative stress. So the drugs with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activity will be beneficial for the prevention and management of cardiovascular diseases. And recently, some researchers validated the therapeutic anti-inflammatory potential of Arjuna Ksheerapaga by in vitro and in vivo studies. They tested the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory potential. The results showed a good anti-inflammatory activity in hypoedema model of mice. The efficacy of they conducted the study in hydroalcoholic extract and Arjuna Ksheerapaga extract. The results showed the efficacy of hydroalcoholic extract was more than Arjuna Ksheerapaga at early phase of inflammation, whereas in late phase of inflammation, Arjuna Ksheerapaga was more efficacious and equipotent to hydroalcoholic extract. Thus, regardless of low in vitro antioxidant activity, Arjuna Ksheerapaga exhibited potential in vivo anti-inflammatory activity. This results pointed out or gives some evidence for the use of Arjuna Ksheerapaga in the management of cardiovascular disease. And next formulation containing Arjuna is Partha Arishtam. It is a self-fermented alcoholic preparation used by Ayurveda physicians for the management of cardiovascular disease. It is described in Bhaishajya Ratnavali Hridroga Adhikara, a classical textbook of Ayurveda. Partha Arishtam is popular for its cardiotonic properties, it is supposed to be nourish and strengthen the heart muscles, promote cardiac function by regulating blood pressure and cholesterol. Cardiotonic and cardioprotective roles of its ingredients are reported on animal models. And these are some experimental evidence on the cardioprotective effect of Partha Arishtam. First one is an in vitro study, and in this study, the antioxidant activity of Partha Arishtam is tested in H9C2 cells. The extent of cell viability of the Partharishta treated H9C2 cell lines was subjected to MTT assay as a confirmatory assays for antioxidant activity and in vitro ROS management assay and reverse transcriptase PCR analysis was conducted to confirm the expression of NRF2 gene against oxidative stress. And the results shows on MTT assay the cells treated with 25 mg per ml of this Partharishta provided an average cell viability of 85.12%. The confirmatory assay conducted in the cells at this concentration showed that the ROS production is relatively low and the NRF2 gene against oxidative stress was expressed in these cells. The findings of the study revealed the formulation Partharishta possess significant antioxidant as well as free radical scavenging activity and therefore may be considered as one of the good sources of natural cardioprotective formulation. And the second study was an in vivo study. It is conducted in isopreternol-induced myocardial infarction in animal model. And the study result also pointed out the beneficial role of Partharishta in cardiovascular diseases. These are the experimental evidences on the plant Arjuna as a single drug and in formulation. And the next one is Lashuna. This is the Sanskrit term for Allium sativum of Liliaceae family. Formulations with bulb of garlic and medicated milk has been in use for the management of cardiovascular diseases and risk factors. Coming to the formulations, first one is Lashuna Kshira. Just like the Arjuna Kshira Paga, medicated milk of garlic also will prepare in a specified ratio and used for the treatment or prevention of cardiovascular diseases. And this formulation is described in Bhaishaji Ratnavali and Charaka Samhita. Both are classical textbooks of Ayurveda. And an in vitro study conducted in Lashuna Kshirapaga shows that Lashuna Kshirapaga decrease the force of contraction of the heart and heart rate, and it is negatively inotropic and chronotropic, and they act on muscarinic receptors of the heart. Next one is a polyherbal formulation with Allium sativum as an ingredient. This is a common formulation prescribed by Ayurvedic physicians for the management of hypertension and dyslipidemia. It consists of 4 ingredients, including Lashunam. The other ingredients are Nigella sativa, Piper longum, and Desmodium gangeticum. And the next one is Ashtavargam Kashayam. Garlic is one among the 8 green ingredients of this decoction also. And this decoction is commonly used by Ayurvedic physicians for the management of hypertension. And there are some more plants that I have listed in this presentation. Gugulu, it is botanically identified as Commiphora mugul, Pipali, Piper longum, Shundi, Zingiber officinale, Pushkara moolam, Inula racemosa, Haridagi, Terminalia, Chebula. But all these medicinal plants shows pharmacological activities like antioxidant activity, cardioprotective activity, anti-atherogenic, anti-inflammatory activity, etc. But all these activities are very beneficial for utilizing them in the management of cardiovascular diseases. Now, I am coming to the concluding slide. Ayurveda has so many unexplored areas, especially its formulations. In the management of complex diseases, drugs that act on multiple targets are gaining scientific attention. People are increasingly choosing traditional medicine due to its cost effectiveness and fewer side effects. Likewise, polypill use has accelerated its importance since these medicines have been used for centuries as a result of their synergistic effects. It is therefore important to have a detailed pharmacological, biochemical, and biomolecular understanding of Ayurvedic drugs and formulations, and this will definitely support its use in preventive cardiology, both as an additive therapy and as a standalone treatment, considering the patient's condition, disease condition, etc. And these are the references. And thank you so much.
Let me thank Dr. Maridula from India for her presentation and making it clear for us how the medical plants can help with the help of Ayurvedic medicine for cardio protection. Thank you very much for that. Unfortunately, we have to quickly turn to the next presenter. We don't have any time left for any questions, but maybe we will have later. So you are welcome to stay with us according to your availability. Thank you very much. Now let me welcome Mr. Lorenzo Uhl, who is joining us from Italy. And his lecture is EMF, electromagnetic fields, bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Mr. Lorenzo Uhl.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for
Good.
joining us. And yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to speak about electromagnetic fields and some effects on the biological matter. We used electromagnetic fields in many fields, from radios to mobile phones to microwaves, but there's lots of literature on the negative effects, but it's just an instrument, and here we are concentrating on actually benefits of electromagnetic fields, especially in the low range. So, historically, the idea was from Jacques d'Arsonval, a scientist who decided to experiment on the Pioceanosis bacillum and expose it to a current with 200 volts of frequency, and just to see the effect. The inoculated animal was not affected in any way by the frequency, and the germs, on the other hand, underwent a selective attenuation effect. So d'Arsonval, convinced or optimistic about his experiments, carried out numerous experiments, and on the diphtheria toxin, venom from cobra or vipers, and the doubt was that the heat maybe was responsible for the observed effects. If you put current on a body for some time, there is a thermal effect. So he kept the temperature under control, and so he was convinced that there was non-thermal effects on these fields. Nowadays, actually, a very interesting field from the EMF's electromagnetic fields is the treatment of tumors. In 2011, the FDA approved and recognized the validity of the theories behind. Now we will see how more or less how that works. Okay, the effects are observed in an arrest of the proliferation of tumors and a destruction during the cell division processes. Seems an action on microtubulus, and in particular on electric dipole as associated with the tubulin. This is a known treatment for glioblastoma, a tumor in the brain. And in the US, there are several clinics that use this kind of helmet, which the patient should keep on for long times, actually. And it's giving very good results. Here in the slide, you can see the measurement of the intensity of the field used. On the research side, a very interesting group is the group from Fadel from the University of Cairo, and here they experimented with many different fields, and we will now see some of their experiments. One of the difficulties of experimenting on life matter is
Mr. Lorenzo, I'm very sorry to interrupt your presentation, which is very interesting. Otherwise, did you mean to share your screen with us, because we can't see the slides?
Sorry.
So we can share the screen.
I will. Okay. This should do it. Can you see it?
Now we can see it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Sorry. I'll make a quick recap. Sorry. Let's go like this. Okay. This is these are photos from the treatment of glioblastoma I was speaking of. So now with the slides, you can see the field that was used. Here, the problem with the Fadel group was that applying a field on living matter, there is the problem of the impedance in human would be of the skin. So what can be done about it? The group from Fadel used, let's say, a trick, and applied two different fields in an orthogonal way. So the resulting field would be the difference between the values of the two fields. In this way, they could bypass the problem. So the experiments were done, and the mice treated with voltages of 5 Hz showed a significant reduction in tumor masses compared to the untreated group of control. There was no difference with the 0.5 Hz. In 2013, the study was repeated, and the results were always positive. They researched even on different approaches. So this time they used a square wave. So they changed apart from the frequency, they changed the form of the wave. And they experimented from 1 to 10 Hertz. This time it was on a culture put in between two electrodes. And the exposed culture was of Staphylococcus aureus. And with the frequency of 0.8 Hertz, they inhibited the reproduction of the bacterium. In 2012, they used similar experiments on the Salmonella typhi bacterium, and infected mice with a field of 0.8 hertz. And again, the growth of the bacterium in these mice was inhibited. So they this time they went with a sinusoidal signal with different kind of approaches. So without going too much in particular, they found ways of improving these results. And this, for me, it's something very interesting because it's a field which very little is known. So every even little improvement in ways of doing things is very important. The last research from their group I will present is the research on the Rift Valley fever. This is probably the biggest study they did, and on in vitro cells. They did lots of research, and with a group of control of Vera cells, they went from 1 to 10 hertz, and on cultures, and it was used as the system of putting the culture between 2 electrodes. So it was again a success. They found, let's say, they observed, let's say, that even slight differences in the frequency applied was giving very different results. So, for example, the square wave frequency was at 5.2, and there was an inhibition of the growth, but that was not observed at 4.4, which is very close, but it seems just this 0.8 of difference was enough to have actually different results. Here we can see their the results from their tests. We from Rome are a group that are using a similar approach, and actually we are just on a research level, and we developed a device very sensitive to low frequencies. So here I present this machine, which is APIC 300. It was built at the beginning to see very small signals on a continuous level, in terms of impedance and in terms of potential. There are researches on the impedance of the skin, but very little research on the potential. This is important because actually it gives a kind of a new perspective, and it bypasses one of the biggest problem of these kind of measurement, the skin impedance. So here are some quirks of the machine that can, apart from measure, give a signal. So you can vary the waveform and the intensity of the signal. What is important is that many treatments that for the scientific communities are giving no results because it's not measurable. Like, I don't know, I can think about a homeopathic medicine, or energetic treatment of any kind, from phrenotherapy to Reiki or whatever. The problem with these approaches are that it's difficult to measure a change. It's only possible to interview the patient and have a response, like they feel better or not. But we have seen that there is a response, an electric response, and the range of the very small, but it's measurable, and the research is on this direction. So I thank you for your attention, and have a good day.
Okay, many thanks to Mr. Lorenzo Ull, to Italy, and his very interesting technical presentation so far. In this morning and yesterday, we had mostly natural and Ayurvedic and natural based approaches to health and to medicines, and this is the thing that can help to prove maybe some of the facts that we were discussing. Thank you very much for that. And since we don't have, I think your lecture was quite a specialized one, so we don't have yet any questions from our listeners and viewers on YouTube. So maybe we will get one, so you are welcome to stay with us. Okay. But let me, as the next participant, re-invite Dr. Debasis Sahu from India, whom we already had in our morning session. But now it is his turn with the lecture, Traditional and Alternative Medicaments During COVID-19 Pandemic for Public Health. Dr. Debasis Sahu, you may speak. We'll be happy to share your lecture and presentation now.
So, good afternoon, everybody. So, my next presentation is based upon some traditional and alternative medicaments that was used widely during the COVID-19 pandemic for the public health. As you all know, that during the COVID-19 pandemic, it has a threat to the human existence, and it is one of the most worst case that has infected the humankind. Okay, so SARS-CoV-19, maybe it is an anthropogenic or maybe it is a natural, but it has caused a huge damage to both the mankind and the economy worldwide. But still, in India, we Indians have managed to keep this COVID-19 pandemicity in a controlled manner. This is due to the fact that we have prior knowledge to the different medicaments in Ayurveda that has been used before ancient times for the flu-like viruses. Almost we know that these types of medicaments were not actually for the pharmacological effect. Those are all types of preventive measures. So first, let us introduce this SARS-CoV. What is SARS-CoV? So this is one of the prominent pandemic threat to the public health and human existence in the current decade. And it has infected almost whole world population that caused significantly higher morbidity and mortality level. So it was also declared as public health emergency by WHO. So this severity has caused acute respiratory distress syndrome, that is basically caused by systemic inflammatory reactions due to excessive release of pro-inflammatory cytokines and chemokines by the immune effector cells, and possibly the rapid spreading of the diseases was due to the differences in the viral strains. So, although the fatality was higher in the other parts of the world, India has managed to control the spread of the disease despite of higher population density and minimal health infrastructure. So various types of medicinal system, traditional medicinal system that has been practiced in India, those are Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. So these are all the traditional medicinal system that is practiced based upon the herbal and herbal-based medicaments. These medicaments have also proved to be very, very effective in preventing the severity of SARS-CoV in India. So actually these herbs and herbal formulation have antimicrobial, antiviral, immunomodulatory, anti-allergic, anti-asthmatic, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties. So these formulations have already been established in the long time in terms of their regime, clinical study, composition, dose, and doses. So some of the formulations in Ayurveda that were used extensively during that COVID was Kwath, Guduchi Ghanivati, Agastya Haritika, Anuthaila. And in Unani formulations, Triyaki Arava, Arki Ajib, Kamira E. Banaspi, Kamira Maradwadi, etc. And in Siddha formulation, Levavembu Kudinir, Kamasura Kudinir have proved their medicinal and therapeutic potential in prevention of these diseases, reducing the severity of the diseases and also in treatment of diseases as complementary and alternative medicine system. So these are the different types of products and property that were in prevalence during the India by different types of drug manufacturing companies. As well as in general, we generally use Chyawanprash. That is a mixture of herbal formulation that is effective against common cold and flu. So these are some of the resources that has been used during the COVID-19. You can see aloe vera is there, Androgapis panniculata, Envira ribes, Momotica cerensia, Cucurma longa. So these are the different types of plants and plant products that are being used. Those are having antiviral, immunomodulatory, anti-allergic, anti-asthmatic, and anti-inflammatory activity. So one of the study depicted for decoction of cassia is that the silver nanoparticle of Piperlogrum fruit extract has potential antibacterial and cytotoxic effect against cancer cell lines, while Tinosporia cordifolia has promising antiviral and immunomodulatory and thrombolytic effect. So some of the other herbal formulation is gingiber H. It is a polyherbomineral drug that was used against respiratory infections, acute bronchitis, influenza virus, etc. So it contains the different types of Ayurvedic things, and basically from Tinosporia cordifolia, as well as from different other plant species called as Ashwagandha, Yastumudhu, and Guduchi. So we also used Chyawanprash. Dabur is a company, and Chyawanprash is a mixture of polyherbal formulation that is generally used as a dietary supplement against different types of, as a supplementation, as well as against different types of symptoms of flu, especially cold and flu. So these also helped in boosting the immunity of the body, and it has a composition of more than 40 herbal composition, and it has been already been tested, and it is in market for the last 100 years. Then Kadha. It was a very, very simple and very effective herbal formulation that was used in daily household activity. So people used to drink this Kadha in during the 3 times a day. Okay. So it constitute different types of herbals or herbs that were easily available in the market or easily available during that period. Those are basils, cinnamon, black pepper, dry ginger, and resins. So these helped in boosting the immunity of the individuals during the COVID-19. Then others are Ayodharbans, Samson Bhatti, Anutaila, Sudarsana Gandavati. So these are the different other Ayurvedic formulations that were used during that period. Along with that, Ayush 64. So this is also a medicaments that has developed by the Department of Ayush, and it has helped in improvisation of the symptoms of influenza during that period. Also, Quath and some of the homeopathy formulations that also help during prevention of these things are arsenic alba, bryonia alba, gelasium somniferens, and Crotalus horridus. So these are having different homeopathic medications that are being used during the COVID-19 and helps in different pharmacological important constituent that was used against those viruses. Some other formulations were Johan and Kamal Marwadi from Unani formulation. Other supplementations that were also used was vitamin C and zinc supplementation, which also used in helping our immunity to fight against the viral diseases. So thank you for your time and patience.
And many thanks to Mr. Ashish Sahu for the second time. Again, we cut you a little bit short before, so if you have something more to add, we'll be happy to hear it. We are very delighted to hear that during the COVID pandemic, there were possibilities how to protect ourselves with natural medicaments and natural means, because here in Europe, we were really directed towards the products of the evidence-based medicine, and the natural products were rather suppressed. So it's great to see and hear that in India, the natural means helped to not only prevent, but also help to master the situation with the COVID pandemic.
These types of medications are helped in India more to prevent the diseases and widespread of this pandemicity.
We were supposed to have Dr. Aparna Dilep with the next presentation starting right now, but since she didn't get connected, we cannot reach her and she can't connect us on Zoom. Let me see if we have any questions for Lorenzo Ul or Debashis Sahu. And I can't see any here. Let me have a look on YouTube if there are any questions from there. So far we have no questions. If any of the participants who can follow us and hear us have any comments to the previous lectures and presentations, they are welcome to participate in the conversation. And if anyone has...
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Actually, this is a very global platform where we can share the ideas worldwide.
I couldn't hear you very well, Mr. Debasis Sahu.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. This is a great platform actually to share these ideas, share the ideas about Ayurvedic alternative systems. So that in the near future we can also go for a single world single medication system where we can go for different treatment of different chronic diseases. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Debasis Sahu, for both the presentations that you shared with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much one more time. And just bear with me for a while till we try to reconnect with Miss Aparna Dilep, who was supposed to tell us something about harnessing the power of yoga in ameliorating adolescent non-alcoholic liver diseases. So please give us just a little time to try to reconnect with her. Okay, we couldn't get connected with Dr. Aparna Dilep, but we have another next participant, Dr. Ramya Nath, who is with us now in the conference. Dr. Nath, may I ask you if you would like to present your lecture
Yes,
now?
I will present.
Yeah,
yes,
you
I
can.
will present. 1 second, please give me a time. 1 second.
You can take as much time as you want because this is a little bit ahead of the schedule. So take as much time as you need and we'll be happy to share your presentation when you are ready.
Namaste. Good afternoon all. Myself Dr. Ramya Arnath from University of Hyderabad, India. The topic of my presentation is a critical analysis on Doshik Prakriti through Ayurveda. These are the contents of my topic. Introduction, Prakriti, P4 medicine, dynamic treatment regime, Ayurgenomics, further scope. Introduction. The debate around health, well-being and their measurement is becoming increasingly popular worldwide. Recently, the role of individual subjective evaluations and psychological features in health and disease management attracted the interest of researchers and practitioners. Ayurveda, an age-old holistic medicine of Indian traditional system, dates back 5,000 years. The theory of Tridosha forms the foundation of Ayurveda. The physiology of the human body in Ayurveda is explained in terms of Tridosha, that is, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. These three humors or entities are the causes of production, preservation and destructions of the body respectively. Next, attribute of dosha. The three doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, perform all physiological functions in the body when they are in equilibrium. If the equilibrium is disturbed, the physiological functions of the body is altered and lead to the initiation of disease process. Attribute of each dosha is explained in the following table. Then next about the Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Every human being is different from the others in many respects. These differences are stated to be natural to human beings and these natural differences are stated to be termed as Prakriti. Chakrapani, the commentator of Charaka Samhita, an authentic text of Ayurveda, interprets Prakriti as Swabhava, which has different connotations, inherent property, temperament, constitution, etc. Prakriti is produced and determined by the dominant dosha at the time of union of ovum and sperm. The Prakriti is formed based on the permutation and combination of somatic humors or dosha at the time of fertilization of ovum are classified into 7. Vadaja Prakriti, Pittaja Prakriti, Kabaja Prakriti, Vada Kabaja Prakriti, Vada Pittaja Prakriti, Pitta Kabaja Prakriti, and Samadoshaja Prakriti. The Prakriti of an individual is determined by the dominance of 1, 2 or 3 doshas expressed in that individual. Though it is determined genetically, several factors like environment, maternal diet during pregnancy, etc. influence its manifestation. From this table, we can see the important distinguishing features of each Prakriti. Next, the importance of assessment of dosha Prakriti in healthy state and unhealthy state. So the significance of assessment of dosha Prakriti in healthy state is on promotion or maintenance of health, to assess susceptibility to disease or predictive medicine, and to assess Agni status. Agni status means digestive status of a person. Next, significance of assessment of dosha Prakriti in unhealthy state in treatment, prognosis of disease, and diagnosis of disease. How to assess Prakriti? Nowadays, standardized and validated scales to assess Prakriti are available. CDAC, CCRIS, and IGIB are some of the organizations which made scales and standardized. These scales are available for us to assess our Prakriti. Where we are moving. P4 medicine, also known as predictive, preventive, personalized, and participatory medicine, is an approach to healthcare that integrates advancements in genomics, molecular biology, data science, and technology to improve medical care. The goal of P4 medicine is to transform healthcare into a more proactive, personalized, and effective system, ultimately leading to better health outcome and improved quality of life for individuals. It represents a promising approach to address the complexities of modern healthcare and move towards more individualized and preventive care strategies. Dynamic treatment regime is a treatment regime. Nowadays, it is very popular in modern medicine. It involves tailoring the course of medical intervention based on an individual's changing characteristics and response to previous treatments over time. In simpler terms, a DTR is a set of guidelines or decision rules that help healthcare providers determine the most appropriate treatment for a patient at different points in their life. It takes into account the patient's evolving health status, responses to previous treatments, and other relevant factors to make informed and personalized treatment decisions. DTR often involve the use of data-driven method, predictive modeling, and statistical analysis to guide treatment decisions. By continuously assessing the patient's condition and adjusting treatments accordingly, DTR aims to optimize the overall treatment strategy and improve patient well-being. In this aspect, Ayurveda has its relevance as it is the ancient Indian system of medicine. The concept of a dynamic treatment regime aligns well with certain principles of Ayurveda. Ayurveda emphasizes personalized and holistic approach to healthcare that take into account an individual's approaches to healthcare that take into account an individual's unique constitution, lifestyle, and dynamic interaction between body, mind, and environment. Ayurgenomics. In view of all the directions described above, the development of Ayurgenomics has great significance in personalized medicine. In Ayurgenomics, an attempt is made to describe Prakriti types in terms of modern genetics and physiology. Ayurgenomics offers a new bridge between traditional medicine and modern medicine by providing a rigorous scientific understanding of basic concepts and at the same time incorporating the practical preventive approaches of Ayurveda into modern medicine. Ayurgenomics, some studies. Patwardhan et al. In 2005 correlated Prakriti with specific genetic and physiological measures. They evaluated 76 subjects, both for their Prakriti and human leukocyte antigen DRB1 types. They observed a correlation between HLA type and Prakriti type with a complete absence of HLA DRB102 allele in the Vadaja Prakriti and HLA DRB113 in the Kabaja Prakriti. HLA DRB110 had higher allele frequency in the Kabaja type compared to Pittaja and Vadaja Prakriti. In 2008, Prashar et al. Studied the relationship between biochemical and genome-wide expression level in subjects from the three main Prakriti groups. There were many distinct differences in the regulation of genes in each of the main Prakriti types. They also observed certain physiological differences such as Kabaja type or Kabaja Prakriti having higher level of triglycerides, total cholesterol, high low-density lipoprotein, low high-density lipoprotein compared to Pittaja and Vadaja type. In Pittaja Prakriti, they found hemoglobin and RBC count higher, whereas serum prolactin was higher in Vadaja Prakriti. Hodge et al. In 2011 found that there was a downregulation of CYP2C19 genotypes in Kabaja Prakriti and an upregulation in Pittaja Prakriti. Rotti et al. In 2014 studied association between immune cell type and Prakriti. They found that CD25 and CD56, CD25 is activated B cells and CD56 is natural killer cells. They were higher in Kabhaja Prakriti. Crotty et al. In 2015 identified DNA methylation signatures that distinguish the three major Prakriti types. The authors suggested that DNA methylation is probably coupled to chromatin regulation as a contributor to different Prakriti phenotypes. Their research provides insight into the epigenetic mechanisms of Ayurvedic personalized system of medicine. Agarwal et al. In 2015 found that the combination of derived EGLN allele and ancestral VWF allele was significantly high in the Kabhaja Prakriti group compared to the Pittaja Prakriti. They also established a genetic link between EGLN1 and VWF, which could modify thrombosis and outcomes of hypoxia. In fact, genotypic interactions between VWF was analyzed and using multinomial logistic regression. Spearman rank correlation was used to study this genotypic interaction with respect to altitude in HGDP CEPH panel. Prasher et al. In 2015 observed the biochemical and molecular correlates of Prakriti and show how these differ significantly in processes that are linked to intermediate path phenotypes known to take a different course in diseases. They also observed a significant enrichment of the highly connected hub genes, which could explain differences in Prakriti, focusing on EGLN1, a key oxygen sensor that differs between Prakriti type and is linked to high altitude adaptation. They demonstrated that how EGLN1 could qualify as a molecular equivalent of Tridosha that can modulate different phenotypic outcomes where hypoxia is a cause or a consequence both during health and disease states. Huang et al. In 2023 reiterated that Ayurgenomics help us to understand the principles of Ayurveda using the most recent contemporary methods, paving the door for evidence-based Ayurveda and therefore a greater worldwide recognition. Ayurgenomics creates a newfangled link between modern and traditional medicine by offering a scientific grasp of fundamental ideas while also infusing Ayurveda's practical prophylactic techniques into modern care. For this purpose, they emphasize the use of modern statistical technique in studying the connection between phenotype and genotype. Madan and Goyal in 2020 and Rajshekhar et al. In 2022 used machine learning methods to predict the balancing of Ayurvedic constituents in the human body. In particular, they used machine learning methods like support vector machine, neighbors, decision tree, k-nearest neighbor, and artificial neural network and AdaBoost algorithm for various performance characteristics to predict human body constituencies. Hadwa et al. In 2023 used dense neural network deep learning algorithm for predicting Prakriti classes of individuals. This recent work paved way towards the extensive use of machine learning techniques in Ayurgenomics. As pointed out, the development of Ayurgenomics helps in giving credibility to Ayurveda and other systems of traditional medicine by describing their ancient concept in terms of modern science. New approaches in Ayurgenomics, which use big data analysis and machine learning, may greatly facilitate this whole process. That is, modern technologies adopted from data science and machine learning will help to make traditional knowledge-based medical approaches evidence-based by unveiling previously invisible information about their efficacy, interaction, and effect. These are the references. Thank you for listening. My sincere gratitude to World Health Congress 2023 for giving a chance for presenting my work. Thank you.
And for the World Health Congress 2023, let me thank you, Dr. Nath, for your presentation. It was our pleasure to welcome you here. And if you have a little time left, let me have a look in the questions, and we've got one for you. How did you get to Ayurveda? What was your path to Ayurveda medicines?
I am an Ayurveda doctor by profession. I am a postgraduate in Ayurveda. Recently joined PhD in University of Hyderabad.
I've got another question that appeared from our listeners and viewers on YouTube. How is it possible? Let me read it. How is it possible to keep a Prakriti balance in yourself? What should I pay attention to, or what should I concentrate on? The listener asks.
Through our diet and regimen. For different Prakriti, different diet and regimen, daily regimen can be tailored.
So daily regime, yeah?
Yeah.
For prevention.
Yes.
Let me have a look if we have another questions from other channels. There were 2 questions here. Okay, that's it for the questions, direct questions to you. As for our next, thank you very much, Dr. Nath.
Okay.
And you are welcome to stay online with us. Our next and last speaker of this session, and actually of today's broadcasting and streaming, was Dr. Akanksha Thakur, who is supposed to start at 12:30 with her presentation, which is called A Comprehensive Clinical Review on Different Procedures Used in the Management of Shitada, of gingivitis. We are not in touch yet with Dr. Akanksha Thakur, so let me just wait a little bit for her, if she is able to connect us till 12:30. Let's hope we will be able to get connected with Dr. Akanksha Thakur, whose presentation is supposed to start at 12:30. And Dr. Nath, if you are still with us, there's another question that appeared here from the listener to our broadcasting. And the question is, how can we find our personal Prakriti?
CDAC IO software, and there are some scales. Prakriti, each Prakriti characteristics are explained in Charaka Samhita, Susruta Samhita, Ashtanga Sangraha. These are some of our Ayurvedic authentic textbook. Taken from these characteristics, some organizations like CDAC, IGIB, CCRIS, these people developed scales of standardized scales. These scales are available for assessing. If we Google scale for Prakriti assessment, we will get. Even research articles are also available to assess Prakriti.
Thank you very much for answering of these questions. There's another one which is directed to you, if I may, Dr. Nath. And it is thank you very much for rejoining us again. There are questions coming, so I take them one by one as they appear on my screen. What influences which Prakriti we are born in?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes. What influences which Prakriti we are born with? What is
getting.
Let me just read it one more time. Yeah, I'm not sure if it makes sense just as I read it, as it was put down. So, what are the influences?
Yes.
Which Prakriti
is genetic by birth itself. Prakriti at the time of union of sperm and ovum, based on the based on the permutation and combination of dosha, the prakriti is manifested. That is genetic. Influences of prakriti manifestation is maternal diet, environment, climate. These are the influences of doshic prakriti. Environment, maternal diet, season. I think I answered.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Maybe I have another question. There are questions that keep coming on my screen. So if you don't mind answering this one, is Prakriti theory a more modern part of Ayurveda, or is it a traditional part of it?
Prakriti is a basic fundamental principle of Ayurveda.
Yeah, so it's of the traditional part.
Yes, it is one of the fundamental theory of Ayurveda. We can correlate with the genetics. Many studies I have quoted in my presentation. Many research works are being done.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your kind answers and for staying with us and answering all the curious listeners who followed your presentation. Thank you very much for that. I've got also one more question for Mr. Debashis Sahu, if he is still with us. Mr. Sahu, Dr. Sahu, if you are still with us, can you hear us? Or if you can switch on your microphone. I can see your screen as a part of Zoom, but I'm not sure, Mr. Debashis Sahu, if you are with us. Okay, it seems that Mr. Debashis Sahu is not available at the moment for the question regarding natural medicines in connection with prevention of COVID-19. Maybe I will get it later. And unfortunately, we still didn't get in touch with Dr. Akansha Thakur from India and her presentation on different procedures used in curing or healing gingivitis. So let me thank especially first to Dr. Nath for answering all the questions and bearing with us and staying with us. And since Dr. Akansha Thakur was supposed to be our last presenter of this round, and actually of the streaming and broadcasting of this hall number 3 of the World Health Congress 2023, we've got still 1 minute, so let us wait 1 minute if we can join the last presenter. Okay, let me thank everybody. Let me express my deep gratitude for your kindness and for your patience and for all your activity that you exercise and that you have shared with us today and also yesterday in the lectures and presentations. It's now up to me to thank you also on behalf of the ITCM Institute for Traditional, Complementary and Integrative Medicine and its director, Mr. Tomáš Pfeiffer, and the whole board for all your kind presentations, all your time that you devoted to this Congress, and we will be looking forward to meeting you sometime in the future, maybe at the next Congress. Let me also remind you that this hall number 3, is finishing its broadcasting and streaming and Zoom presentations today, but you can still continue watching the presentations from hall number 1 and hall number 2 of this Congress. Hall number 1 is with live participants and lecturers, and hall number 2 is a virtual hall and live hall, so you can follow these two. And let me thank you one more time for being with us, and I'll be looking forward to meeting you sometime in the future. So thank you in the name of the whole team, crew of the Congress 2023 Prague, and I wish you all the best and goodbye.